Greenville, South Carolina for years now has been rated on all of those best places to live list. Well, we're here in 2025, almost into 2026, and a lot of people are saying Greenville's overrated. I'm gonna share the truth with you. What are the things that people love? What are the things that people complain about? And what are the things that Greenville is working on? Find out in this video. So I have to be honest, there's no perfect city, and Greenville definitely is not a perfect city. There's challenges. Greenville's had a lot of growth, and with growth, of course, becomes challenges and becomes infrastructure problems. So let's talk about what are the challenges that are facing Greenville. I think the first thing with any growing city is that you have traffic and infrastructure problems. As you continue to grow, your roads just were not prepared to have as many people on them as they have today. And the infrastructure, the ways of getting around, those become challenges. So that is what Greenville is faced with right now, and that is one of the biggest things that I see people complaining about that live in the area. Second thing that we have is rising home prices. People went from being accustomed to paying $250,000 for the average priced home in 2019 in our market, up to now people are paying $400,000 or more for the average priced home. So that's created a lot of strain for the local economy, and that has been a big eye-opener for folks. The third thing, of course, when you have traffic and infrastructure problems, the first solution that most people go to is getting better with public transportation. Greenville, admittedly, is not super strong in this area compared to a lot of the bigger metro cities that are nearby. Another thing that I often hear people say is the downtown feels a lot more crowded than it was. Not only are people moving here, but there's a lot more people that are visiting here as well. Where downtown it used to be, you could always find parking, you could walk, it just felt like this really quintessential small southern downtown scene. Now, there's gonna be a lot more people that are there. There's gonna be people from all over the world that are coming to see this downtown that has been rated as one of the top 10 in the country. The last thing that I wanna mention and add here is that a lot of people complain about the overall change in the landscape of the Upstate. What I mean by that is downtown Greenville used to have less people there. All the other downtowns in the surrounding cities used to just be specifically for local people, less tourism, less travel. It used to just feel like a small downtown, it used to feel like a small city, and now it's becoming more and more of a bigger city feel, which for some people, that is a negative, but it's also brought a lot of businesses, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of growth. So let's break all these points down and give you the truth. So with traffic, overall, what I found, there was a consensus study done, and it showed that the average person spends 22 minutes commuting to work here in the Upstate, which is a shorter commute than the national average of 24 minutes and shorter than Charlotte and Atlanta by a landslide. But I've got to admit, as someone who lives here, there of course is more traffic. There's been more people that have moved, there's been more stopping at red lights. Those things absolutely happen. But depending on where you're located, it really might not feel like there's a lot of traffic, especially depending on where you're moving from. I have people that relocate from large cities like Miami and places like that all the time that always laugh at me in my face when we talk about traffic. So traffic is such a subjective thing depending on someone's context. So let's talk about housing prices rising. Of course, Greenville has seen significant growth in population and in home prices, but a lot of the other areas in the country also saw that same level of increase in their home prices. Greenville is still more affordable than the national average, and Greenville is definitely more affordable than a lot of the other large surrounding cities. So Greenville still has affordable housing, and you can still find some really great housing options for the $300 to $350 price point if you're willing to do a little bit further of a commute or you're willing to bend on some of those wish list items. When we think about the downtown crowds, of course, there's more people that have come here. Greenville has won a lot of awards. Greenville has become known for the downtown scene, and more people have moved here. There's good and there's bad with that. Of course, you don't want the traffic and congestion, and you love to be able to go and have a lot of free space and feel like you have the downtown to your own. But also these businesses, restaurants, and boutiques need customers. They need people to come, and what that's done is created more and more opportunities for these businesses to thrive and for more businesses to come in. And we're seeing even greater opportunities that are coming to the Greenville area because of this. So it's a pro and a con, but it's something to be aware of. When we talk about public transportation, I'll be the first to admit, I don't think this is Greenville's strength. I think that if you compare it to a city like Atlanta, where they have the metro, or you compare it to a lot of other large metro cities, overall, Greenville is just not going to stack up. There are some options for public transportation, and it is something that Greenville is actively working on. Overall though, if you're moving to the area, especially if you're not going to live in the downtown, you're going to need a car while you're here. You're going to need to use some form of transportation like Uber or Lyft or something to get from place to place. There is a Swamp Rabbit Trail, and I am finding that some people are taking e-bikes and they're using that as a mode of transportation on the Swamp Rabbit. And some people are even doing that just on some of the regular roads. But overall, public transportation is not something that I say that Greenville is thriving on, but it is an area that they're working on, and there are some options that are available if that's a must-have for you. Now, as far as the growth point goes, that's going to create a lot of great opportunities, but it's also going to create some negative things as well. Do you feel comfortable living through knowing that they're going to need to enhance the roads? They're going to create more infrastructure on that side. The good thing that I found about Greenville is that there is a plan in place, and Greenville is working through trying to solve these traffic issues, and they're not behind on this. Greenville is a city that actively planned to grow, and they have a plan in place. But you've got to live through that. But also with growth creates a lot of great opportunities. There's been a lot of businesses who've moved to the area that have had a lot of success. There's been a lot of great options for people to visit new businesses and new attractions, new boutiques. There's new parks that are always up and coming. There's so much to do in this area, and that makes Greenville such an amazing place to be. The more money that comes in, of course, that's more money for roads, that's more money for schools, that's more money for police officers, firemen, etc., just to enhance the city overall. So as long as the government is doing what it should be doing and pouring the money back into the right places, Greenville will continue to thrive, and it'll be a great place to live, but you'll have to sit through some of those infrastructure challenges. So what is it that still makes Greenville great? We've talked about some of those negative points and things that you need to deal with, but what makes Greenville such an awesome place to live? The first is the downtown. I've already talked about it a lot. If you've heard any videos on Greenville, you know that Falls Park is an absolutely incredible place. There's so much natural greenery, there's so much natural beauty there. You have the Reedy River that runs right through the center of the downtown. And you just have some really incredible restaurant options, boutiques, and just so much to do in just one area that is highly walkable and just really creates a really great atmosphere with doing so many different festivals and bringing people locally together. The other thing is the outdoor lifestyle that you can live here. If you're a golfer, there are tons of incredible golf courses here. If you want to go hiking, there's tons of mountains that are nearby. You have Paris Mountain as a state park that, depending on where you're at in the Upstate, could be just right at your back door, less than 30 minutes away. You've got rivers and lake options for people that want to do that. You have tons of great biking opportunities for the bikers out there. You just have so many opportunities to get outdoors. And of course, if I'm talking outdoor living, I've got to talk about the Swamp Rabbit Trail. For people who are avid runners, walkers, love to be outdoors, this is a must-see and must-visit, and a place that people go regularly. The other thing that I find that people really love is the strong community feel. You can find your people here in Greenville no matter what it is that you're interested in. There's so many festivals that the downtown does. There's so many get-togethers where people feel connected, and Greenville's been rated as one of the friendliest cities in the entire country. Other thing, people really love the food here. There's over 200 different restaurants in downtown, as I've already mentioned. There's tons of different types of cuisine. And because Greenville brings people from all over the world, it creates a really unique cultural influence from all kinds of different places that really create the ability for people to connect with a lot of different types of people. The other thing that I have to mention is the affordability related to the lifestyle. Greenville is more affordable to live than the national US city by over 7%. And there's a lot of really great resources. People love the school system here. It's ranked as one of the best in South Carolina consistently. People love that outdoor lifestyle that I've already mentioned, and so many other things that make Greenville such an attractive option at a really affordable price point. So there you have it. Greenville is not perfect. There's challenges with Greenville just like any city, but Greenville continues to be rated as one of the best places to move to. And my family and I want to stay here long term because we love this place. We find that it offers so much for us, and we've made so many incredible friends, and we absolutely love it here. My team loves it here. All of us have really felt like we've put down roots and that Greenville is home for us. If you're interested in making Greenville home for you, feel free to reach out to us. All of our contact information will be down below in the description and at the end of this video. We'd love to be a resource, and we'd love to help you out.